Due to the video I dropped, ladies and gentlemen, about Don Lemonade, he reported my video. YouTube hit me with a goddamn bullying strike. But guess what, goddammit? Guess what?
We are back, baby. We are fucking back. We're back. Classic. We are back.
Kathleen Clark admits that they're shutting down the government for leverage, playing with the American people's lives. Food in your baby's stomach. These people are wicked, ladies and gentlemen, and here's the proof that the Democrats are shutting the government down for leverage. They playing a game with the peoples, and not only that, they playing a game with your kids, and got you out here believing that it's Donald Trump when it's not Donald Trump. They love to keep the people in chaos, ladies and gentlemen. They known for that. This shit dates all the way back to 1924 at the Democratic Convention. And y'all can do the research on the Klan bait. That's why I don't take none of these motherfuckers serious, y'all. All these motherfuckers y'all see, these evil, wicked devils from the Democratic Party is of the devil. And former KKK members, y'all. I keep trying to tell y'all that. But y'all think they just disappeared? Let's listen to this video of her admitting that they're using the shutdown as leverage, playing with the peoples.
In the Senate, I understand the health care position from the Democrats. No responsibility on the Democrats, or at least you don't think that the public will perceive that the Democrats are responsible.
I mean, the shutdowns are terrible, and of course there will be, families that are going to suffer. We take that responsibility very seriously. Families that are going to suffer. We take that. Families that are going to suffer. We take. Families that are going to suffer. We take that responsibility very seriously.
Look.
Families that are going to suffer. We take that responsibility very. Families that are going to suffer. We take that responsibility very. Families that are going to suffer. We take that responsibility very seriously. But it is one of the few leveraged times we have. It is an inflection point in this budget process where we have tried to get the Republicans to meet with us and prioritize the American people. Families that are going to suffer. We take that responsibility very seriously. But it is one of the few leveraged times we have. It is an inflection point in this budget process where we have tried to get the Republicans to meet with us and prioritize the American people.
Is that love for you or hate? Is that love for you or hate? Hate? No. What are you charging me with hate? What are you charging me with hate teaching? Here 2 weeks ago, every rabbit-like man jumped up after me, calling me a hate teacher. And for 25 years, I've been teaching you. You never called me a hate teacher until a white man called me one.
I was like you. I was really angry that Chuck Schumer allowed the CR to pass in the Senate. He gave away our leverage. And with a Republican in the White House and a Republican majority in Congress, we do not have many moments with some leverage these days. We do not have many moments with some leverage these days. And worse, he gave it away without getting anything in return.
Now here's Chuck Schumer saying, every day the government is shut down, it gets better for them. How does it get better for y'all? Every day the government is shut down. And people out here living paycheck to paycheck, month to month. What games are y'all playing on the American people? Let's listen, y'all.
Read in Punch Bowl News this morning, the minority leader making a statement to Punch Bowl. So he thinks the Democrats have momentum. His statement is, every day gets better for us. That's what he said in an interview from his office yesterday when he was interviewed by the news. He said, every day gets better for us. I said, who is us? Not better for the American people. Who does he mean by us? Not the military who's not getting paid, not the Border Patrol that's not getting paid, not the air traffic controllers who aren't getting paid. Who is us? He's playing a game. We see it. The Washington Post talked about it just yesterday in their headline and their editorial page. Democrat leaders play dangerous game. That's what we have here. And what does the minority leader say? Every day gets better for us. Who in the world is us? Is it this group that has organized the shutdown? They've talked about having
like they always
an orchestrated group of the far left wing, the terrorist wing of the Democrat Party, organizing and orchestrating the shutdown, planning for weeks in the minority leader's office, closely coordinated, and it's hurting the American people. But the minority leader has said it's getting better for them. Look, how can they brag about the damage that they're doing to the American people? Whether it's women on infant and
all
children programs, food and eating
Just
food.
look at them, y'all. They wicked
Whether
as
it's small
fuck,
businesses
man.
applying for loans for the Small Business Administration.
Dude, evil, man.
Our troops, our Border Patrol. But boy, for what I see from the minority leader and where he's trying to lead this country, it's a perfect quote for the shutdown. Gets better for them every day. And I'll tell you, Mr. President, it's rubbish. And it is hurting our country. 13 times we have voted to open the government, keep it open for a continuing resolution in Joe Biden's term, and now they're not going to do it because Donald Trump's in the White House.
See, now you heard that, ladies and gentlemen. For those who's ignorant to the facts, that don't do no researching, that's part of the go along, get along game. The people that you elected in your local cities and towns, that's Democrats, ask them, did they vote to keep the government open or shut? Chester residents, get over there and ask Gazam, did she vote to keep the government open or shut? Chester residents, get over there and ask John Kane, did he vote to keep the government open or shut? Chester residents, y'all can start right there. Your local Democrats, hold them accountable. Ask them, did they vote to keep the government open or shut? Ladies and gentlemen, common sense shit you can do instead of playing the blame game. Get your facts right first. Then you can call people out on their bullshit. So what I'm telling y'all, Chester residents, this is a Democrat shutdown. You can start by going in your own backyard, asking your local politicians who you voted for, did they vote to keep the government open or shut? We already know John Fetterman's on board, and they're trying to oust John Fetterman because he believed in putting American people first. And the Democrats are mad with John Fetterman, the one they said that was losing his mind. And come to find out, he's the only one in the House with common sense in Pennsylvania. Where's Josh Shapiro? Ask Josh Shapiro, did he vote to keep the government open or shut? Pennsylvania, wake up.
That's what we have in this country today. A political game being played by the Democrats because they think that every day gets better for them. And this isn't right versus left. This is right versus wrong. That's what we're facing in this country today. There are 1.3 million soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, Coast Guards, Guardians on active duty to protect our nation, protect our freedoms.
Now let's get the 411 from John Fetterman, a Pennsylvania senator that sits in the House, that knows what's going on in the House. Sad, man. Sad our own peoples be selling us out, man. Sad, man. And Gazam lied to y'all in y'all face, man. And tell y'all, oh, no, we got to do this. We got to hold our vote because I'm a puppet. And they told me to hold my vote because I'm a puppet and I'll get ousted if I don't. This the game in the house. This a game in the house that they play. And if I ain't part of it, they're gonna oust me. Like they're trying to oust John Fetterman because he believes in common sense and putting American people first. Let's listen to John Fetterman, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go.
I'll be respectful. I've had the opportunity to meet with you and have, very civil conversations and friendly and actually fun, to be very honest. And we appreciate you being here.
But yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me on, Sean. It's a pleasure to have this conversation. Absolutely.
I want to start with this issue because if you go back to the end of the 24 campaign, the closing argument to me was Nazi, fascist, racist, Hitler, Stalin, Mussolini. I don't think it worked out well for the Democrats. And you actually said if you're looking for a Democrat, and this is what you said, that's going to call people Nazis, fascists, all these kinds of things, I'm not going to be that guy. Okay, I admire you for saying that. I'm not going to be the guy, saying those things about the left either. Because, those are the worst adjectives you can use. But you've made a decision not to, but your party is going in the other direction. And they're saying it with regularity, and I'll play more tape later in the show today about it. What is going on? Why have they chosen that path when it didn't succeed the first time?
I don't know why, and I've always refused to say that. And when then the Vice President Harris referred to President Trump as a fascist, and I knew absolutely we lost the plot at that point. If you call the president or someone like a fascist, you're effectively calling the people that are going to vote for him, and then they must be fascist too, or they support fascism and those things, and that's just not true. That's just not it. I happen to know, and I love a lot of people that voted for the president, and they're not fascists, they're not Nazis, they're not trying to destroy the Constitution and all those things. They just happen to have a different priorities, and they love our country in the same ways that Democrats do as well. So I refuse to do those kinds of a thing, because that kind of extreme kinds of rhetoric makes it easier for those kinds of extreme kinds of actions, even like what happened to poor Charlie Kirk and that. And now why you can't allow people to grieve and now use that an opportunity to criticize or to turn it into something. It's like, that's just basic humanity there. And like, we're forgetting that we need each other. We need each other here. And now I refuse to be a part of it and comparing people to Hitler and those things, because that's
out of control.
If that's what's required to win, then I refuse to.
You just heard a Democratic colleague's family will suffer, but we need the leverage. Wow, that's a pretty impactful statement to me. Your thoughts?
Yeah, like I just said that, I just put that in my social. Like 2 million Pennsylvanians depend on SNAP to helping feed themselves and their family. 2 million. And now that's going to be suspended because our government is shut down. I can't ever vote for that kinds of mass food insecurity like that. And now I'm going to be a country over party guy. I'm always going to vote to pay our military over the party. I'm always going to vote to pay the Capitol Police here versus over the party. I'm always going to vote country over my party, and if I pay a price within my base, that's something I'm willing to do, because I happen to believe it's very true, and that's what's honest where we are right now. It's wrong to shut our government down, and that's going to impact millions of Americans. And I do believe Leader Thune is an honorable man, and I do believe that we can have significant and important conversations to negotiate to extend those tax credits, and I do hope we're able to do these things. So for me, it's a core responsibility here as a senator to keep our government open, and I'm never going to vote to shut our government down, and I don't care if it's the Republicans or Democrats, whatever, it's wrong.
How do you interpret Chuck Schumer? We've played montages on this program of him over the course of his entire career speaking out against a government shutdown. and now he's made the decision to do it. You came under heavy criticism when this happened back earlier in the year, as did he. But now he's changed course. Do you believe he's catering to a rise of radicalism in your party? Do you see a rise of radicalism in your ranks?
I mean, I don't know what his views are, and I'll of course I'll respect whatever his views are, but you know, I'm not afraid to tell my truth, and if I'm going to pay a penalty, I'm not afraid of that. It's wrong to shut our government down, and then if I lose some support within the base, well, I'm going to be honest, and I'll be the Democrat that refused to lie to the base and just say that it's the right thing to shut the government down and to create these kinds of things. You know, I want to extend these tax credits and make health insurance more affordable, but I also refuse to vote to suspend SNAP for millions of Pennsylvanians in my state and across the entire nation. I refuse to do those things.
Being a football.
See, now you heard that, Pennsylvanians. That John Fetterman is on board to keep the government open so y'all can continue on getting y'all SNAP benefits. But ask yourself, ladies and gentlemen, how many other Democrats are in Pennsylvania that didn't vote to keep the government open and smiling, beguiling, and playing y'all face? And they want y'all vote coming up in November for these Democrats once again to get in power. They come out there, y'all only saying when they want your vote, ladies and gentlemen. Start holding these people accountable. Do your research before y'all cast y'all vote, y'all. These people are not here for y'all. They got an agenda that they're trying to push, ladies and gentlemen. And these people are coming up here telling y'all don't want to believe this shit because y'all being sold out by the people you trust and the people you elect. But ask yourself, them same people, ladies and gentlemen, they got offices in y'all local cities and towns. Go to those offices and ask them people, did they vote to keep the government open or shut? Why don't y'all want to have no tax on tips? Why y'all don't want to have no tax on overtime? Why y'all don't want to have no tax on Social Security? What is wrong with y'all?
You know, Senator, you've taken other bold stands. For example, you supported President Trump taking out Iranian nuclear sites. You've been an outspoken supporter of Israel. I have a hard time understanding those that don't understand, you know, that the equivalent of 40,000 Americans, based on their population versus ours, were killed in a single day. Murder, rape, kidnapping, torture, beheadings, that all happened. And if it happened in this country and we've been hit with hundreds of thousands of rockets, I ask everybody that is criticizing Israel, what would you expect America to do? What do you think is missing in terms of their thought process? Take a few positions that don't toe the line. They're talking about when your cycle comes up, they want to primary you. What is your response to them?
I really, I'm not afraid of telling the truth. As I've said, I'll be the Democrat that refuses to lie to the base and pretend that this is right. You know, I'm proud to stand with Israel. I'm proud to say that we need to secure our border. You know, I think it's entirely appropriate to bomb the Iranian nuclear facilities. And now I refuse to call my fellow citizens as they're fascists or Nazis or those things. I mean, I will agree also that we must keep our government open. And if somebody wants to primary me or the party wants to vote me out, it's like I'm going to go down being honest and telling you that this is wrong to do these kinds of things, and I refuse to do that. I think we need to be a big tent party. That doesn't sound like I'm a Democrat, and I know
I thought it was a mistake. I'm sorry, Senator. I thought it was a mistake when Democratic senators voted against the largest tax cut in history. A lot of hardworking blue-collar workers in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, no tax on tips, overtime, or Social Security. I would think that they would have wanted that.
Right.
Why would they be against that?
Yeah, I actually love that no taxes on tips. You know, and that was all rolled up I mean, that was all passed through a UC. 100 out of 100 of us agreed on those kinds of a thing. And then I also happened to agree that I was concerned about cutting Medicaid. And then in my Pennsylvania, rural healthcare was significant, and all those hospitals in those red counties are always struggling for that. We can agree and disagree on.
And them hospitals shut down. Nobody fighting to open up them hospitals around here, right? But they urging y'all to go out there and vote for your own demise and don't hold these people accountable for their actions, y'all. The fuck is going on with y'all? Did that experiment really blow your mind? Talking about that COVID-19 injection. Did it blow your mind? The experiment?
On different things. But for me, I'm going to be the one kind of Democrat that's going to be, hey, I happen to believe these things. And if that moves against, my political interests, then I'm still going to be honest, and I'm going to just talk about what I happen to believe is the truth in these kinds of circumstances. And now I'm one of only 2 Democrats that's voting to keep our government open. I was the only kind of Democrat that fully supported Israel through it all.
Facts. John Fetterman. Who else was it? Kathleen Cortez. And it was a independent. Isaac King. Something like that.
All of it. And again, I also was proud to be the co-sponsor of the Lakin bill as well, too, because we do need to deport all of the criminals in our nation right now. I don't know why it's controversial to any Democrat or anyone.
What was your reaction when, at the joint session speech, that Democrats didn't stand and clap for Laken Riley's family, Jocelyn Nungary's family, or that young man that had cancer? We only have about 20 seconds.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's heartbreaking. I mean, as a father with 3 children, if someone had done that to one of my children, it's just how devastating. I mean, this is what I'm saying. I will never understand why it's controversial to round up and deport all of the criminals here that are in our nation right now. And I'm proud to just agree that we need to secure our border. I don't know why these other kinds of things. And if they want to, run me out of the party for these kind of views, I mean, that's really it's up to them. But I'm going to continue.
I know a few people. I can connect you, and I know another party would probably welcome you with open arms.
That's right. That's right.
No, in all seriousness, Senator, I appreciate your thoughtfulness.
That's all, folks.